Welcome back everyone, it's time for the Warcraft news. Let's just get stuck in with 10.2.6. And as grim as the joke is, the skull and crossbones on the roadmap was not a tease of the shock layoffs that were faced by Blizzard. It is a patch, it is 10.2.6, and it's a patch that we'll see soon. The first public encrypted build hit WoW Vendor 3 last week, which then received an update. So that being updated does just show us that they're basically working on it. These are the breadcrumbs that lead directly to PTR testing, I imagine within a few days. The devs have of course been teasing with pirate emojis, and right in line with that we've got the pirate pet on Prime Gaming, and now I have a proposition for your person with today's sponsor, HelloFresh. I've been a customer of theirs since 2019, and the reason's pretty damn simple. I eat better food, I eat tastier food, I stress less, I've got less shopping, less food waste, and I save money. Because yeah, turns out getting fast food is bloody expensive. So if you go to HelloFresh.com and you use code BellularFree, you'll get free breakfast for life, which means every box you get will have a free breakfast item for the duration of your subscription. That's code BellularFree, or click the link down below. Now each box will contain meals that you select from the weekly menu of over 45 options, plus of course additions. Ingredients are farm fresh, they're pre-portioned to save time, and for me, really, decision fatigue is a massive thing. So having HelloFresh handle recipe planning and shopping just eliminates stress. Because look, whenever planning fails, well, that's when doing an expensive fast food order happens. Plus, this way I eat far more varied meals than I otherwise would. Certainly being back in the city for the last month, I've really appreciated their service, and to take a look, here's the most recent meals that I've got. You'll notice they're all quick and easy meals. These are cookable in 15 to 20 minutes, which is dead handy for the schedule. And there's other types too, like Calorie Smart or Protein Smart if you want to hit those goals. And as for a recent thing I've been eating, this delicious and definitely a little bit indulgent pasta dish was, oh my god, it was so Moorish. Anyway, HelloFresh, an epic quality of life upgrade. You can check them out at HelloFresh.com and use code BellularFree for free breakfast for life. That's one breakfast item per box while you're subbed. Code BellularFree at HelloFresh.com, or just click the link down below. Thanks to them for sponsoring. Let's go. I did not see this coming. Blizzard are actually making big, chunky decisions. GDKP runs are being banned for Phase 2 of Season of Discovery, and that's a big move. So essentially, if you're not up to date with these, in these runs, people bid for gear, and if they have the winning bid, they get the gear, and then all of the gold is pooled, and at the end, it is split between the other raiders. Now, for some people, this actually is a great little system. It kind of creates a pug economy. Even if you don't get gear, you'll always get some gold, which eventually you can use to get some gear. Thing is, GDKP runs have always existed, but nowadays, community tools and culture just means that it develops super fast, and for many people in the various classic games, they feel it's gotten way out of hand. And basically, the more people are being pulled into GDKP, and that potentially then detriments the intended design of the game. As Blizzard even say in their post, the erosion of traditional guild and social structures. Now, something they're not shutting the door on for good. They're saying it's an experiment. So, in principle, right, I think that this is good. Mostly because it's a big ballsy move. It's them grabbing the design by the horns and actually trying to do something. That's the kind of energy I want to see, and certainly the energy that this team has been displaying time and time again. Now, there is, of course, the whole other side of this, where the gold comes from in many cases. Botting is less of a problem to be solved, more of a constant war to be waged. Then you've got hacked accounts. This all generates gold. A lot of that gold ends up on RMT, that's, real money transaction sites, so essentially buying gold outside of WoW token. And gold via those means supports things that erode the quality of the game, like the botting. Now, traditionally in the game, you either win a role, you have a guild loot council, or you have a DKP system, which, by the way, just stands for Dragon Kill Points. It's the idea of attend, you'll earn points, and then you can spend them on loot. So gold is a natural evolution of that, but unlike DKP, where, you're attending or maybe a role, well, gold can fully guarantee the loot if it drops, like 100% to you. You just have to have enough gold, and this then incentivizes people to just buy a bunch of gold, which Blizzard doesn't want. So yeah, a focus on traditional pugs and guilds. A funny thing though, and let me know in the comments if you've experienced this, over in Live, recent changes to loot rules have actually created a whole other gold-related problem. Here's a great tweet. The person who won the role already had BIS, but because of the way the loot rules work, they could still do a need roll. So they got the need roll, they won it, and then because of the trading restrictions, they were able to trade that piece and trade gold. So they basically auctioned the thing for 1 million gold. And this is a problem that's getting worse and worse. I mean, normal and heroic mode are easier than they were in the days of Vault or past past expansions, so there's way more pugging going on. And then for gold, like, people would say that gathering isn't great for earning gold because of bots, you know, legacy, raid gold was kind of nerfed, and all of this stuff is just kind of combining with the group loot changes to create a funky situation. Now, normally, right, this is where I would scream, get a guild, into the camera, but to be honest, given the changes to raid difficulty, Blizzard are clearly being pro-pug here. They want more pugs. This is a common problem, and it's definitely something that they should solve. Our next story then is the Season of Discovery team absolutely pumping, and maybe there'll be some good ideas here to roll into Modern as well. And to demonstrate their mindset, let's talk about Phase 2's changes. Now, it starts next week, and there's a lot. XP gains are being boosted by 50% up to level 25, but then Black Fathom Deeps, that will actually grant increased experience when cleared, and Waylaid Supplies will see a big increase to XP for their turn-in. That basically means there is far less of a barrier to entry. Then, of course, new runes. The highlights are Eclipse for Druids, Trap Launcher for Hunter, Missile Barrage for Mage, Pain Sup for Priest, Shuriken Toss for Rogue, Maelstrom Weapon for Shaman, and Rallying Cry for Warrior. They're also adding in skill books that don't take a rune slot but do enhance your quality of life. Things like increasing the duration of blessings, combo point quality of life for rogues, totem relocation. Then, of course, Gnormraggon's the new raid. Now, it's got a weekly lockout for the first 2 weeks, and then it's down to a 3-day lockout. And of course, we've got the Blood Moon event in Stranglethorn Vale. Honestly, even just in the name, I'm kind of sold. Now, this lasts for 30 minutes, it happens every 3 hours, the skies turn red, and the free-for-all begins. They've said there will be twists, of course, because it's the Season of Discovery. We don't exactly know what all of those are going to be, and it will punish raid groups. Of course, there's no better way to ruin a big, crazy free-for-all than people going in a raid group and, well, yeah, just zerging about. So that's smart design. There's also, by the way, a Chosen of the Bloodloa NPC that Fel Reaver style will march about the place and hunt people down. Overall, just really cool, really evocative. It's the sort of thing where if that was just going on for a bit in Modern, I'd absolutely be all over it. Beyond that, then, there's more. There's quest chains for professions. That's exciting to me. As an example, a prior one of those is what got us all of that Xalatath lore for Season of Discovery. So that's really exciting. 20 new recipes for non-gathering professions, an increased prof cap of 255, and new anti-botting tech that they can't really explain because obviously that would just help the botters, but they did say that they've had this anti-botting tech that has been in limited testing across like Classic and Modern, and with this they're planning a more full rollout. So to that I say hell yeah, that's really cool. And a little side thing, I love how Blizzard showed this off. It's just a 30-minute video. It's just slides with interesting information and people telling you what's up. I think it was great. So yeah, I'm a fan. Season Discovery is just doing so much right in my eyes. Hopefully some lessons get rolled into Modern, and big picture, the amount of experiments they're doing, that is really what fascinates me. They're being intentionally experimental. I can't wait to see what future things or projects or features they get greenlit based on what they learn here. Okay, next, we can go even more classic than classic with Warcraft 1 and 2, which are on the Battle.net store, but they're actually cheaper on GOG. Now, if you want something with more modern creature comforts and that's a bit more consistent with the most modern lore, you've got to check out Chronicles of the Second War. It's a fan project for Warcraft 3 Reforged that is awesome. It puts Warcraft 3 Reforged to shame, honestly. It's amazing. The first campaign is playable right now. I mean, that's a good few hours of fun for your weekend. Did you catch the drama? So here's the deal. The Corcoran Warwolf mount for Ahead of the Curve Siege of Orgrimmar, which you can no longer get anymore, was dynamite with a cost of 7,899 traders tender, which definitely would have been some placeholder value for something else. Now, this led to quite the drama. The idea that prestige mounts that you earned by doing stuff in-game would be on the post. This really did spark a drama. For some, it just felt like, hey, that was a unique thing that I did. It took a lot of effort getting ahead of the curve. Siege of Orgrimmar back then. Why is somebody else just getting it on the store? Others just kind of felt, all right, boomer, who cares? You could get a boost for like 10k gold back then in what was a 14-month-long raid tier. And there's been more people saying, this is the first bit. Soon they'll be selling gladiator mounts from past expansions. To be honest, I didn't really care that much. I do actually have the mount for doing curve, properly back in the day. But really my main takeaway here is Blizzard probably needs more ways to reward people, Fix hair so that headwear is exciting. Give us more hats. Do player housing. Give us stuff to put in our houses, that kind of thing. Anyway, the drama amounted to nothing. Blizzard noticed it and they said, at this time, we do not plan to offer mounts or other skill-based prestige awards from achievements such as Cutting Edge, Ahead of the Curve, or Gladiator on the trading post. So there you go, obviously it could change, but they've outlined their principle going forward. Now what is a bit weird is this placeholder value. We often see a placeholder of 999 tender in items, but what's also happened is another thing has been data mined. It was previously part of a Twitch promotion, and it's also got a really strange trader's tender value. To be honest, I've got no idea what this could be. Certainly though, Korkron Warwolf from Siege of Orgrimmar, and a lot of just fragments of data mining are pointing towards Siege of Orgrimmar being worked on. So then, with Time Running Pandemonium being on the roadmap, and like some data mine strings, they said 10.2.5 Pandaria Time Walking Season. Obviously, it's not 10.25, it's 10.27, but yeah, I don't know, some sort of time walking season, who really knows? Seems like an experiment though, so that I'm pretty happy about. Trading post time. Blizzard have marked the anniversary of the post with another 500 bonus tender, which actually means you get 1,500 this month, which is pretty nice. There's also a mannequin toy for 10 tender and the X-53 touring rocket, which was a late Wrath era recruit a friend mount for 100 tender. All kind of cheap. Prices have also came down. This is a good trend. I wonder how long it will last. The total for February is 6,735 tender, which is far lower than December's 9,800 or January's 8,500. And I think in items, it's a pretty strong month. We've got loads of Loves in the Air themed items. There's the Valajar set recolor, some real great looking weapons. Of course, the Love Witch set for completing the log, as well as a Flying Fox mount to go along with that. But if you want the Twilight version of those, they're on the store right now. Basically, as a store bundle over here, it costs £25, and it will enter the trading post at some point 3 months after the sale ends. And they also put out the Murloc Transmorpher onto the store. So that just brings me to the topic of money. Money, money, money. So, box price, subscription, cosmetics, character service. That is how WoW has been monetized since 2010, roughly, when the, I've actually forgotten its name, the Celestial Steed, yes, was put in. The frequency has certainly increased of these cosmetics, but there is a little bit of a difference in that these cosmetics are on the store for a limited time, and then they're on the trading post afterward. Now, look, overall, I would rather have none of this, just a sub fee and an a la carte experience. What I will say, though, is that there is a bit of give and take. Whenever we had the whole Boar Lords of Paymore drama back during WoD, people were kind of frustrated because they didn't feel like they were getting that many patches, yet they were seeing loads of store mounts. So in this case, I actually do think that World of Warcraft is seeing significantly increased financial investment from Blizzard. The team size is much, much larger than it was in the days of Legion or even a more recent expansion like BFA. And I suppose it's much like with FF14 fans in their store. This stuff gets a lot more palatable if, as a player, you feel like you're getting more from the game itself. And to be honest, looking at the roadmap, looking at the future plans, and where I've been feeling right now, I do think that World of Warcraft is a better value and a more well-rounded product. And I suppose being available for tender afterwards does make this sting less compared to what it could be, especially because the whole, selling bundles with tender thing, well, Ian said they don't plan to do that again, so hey, you could always be monetized like a Destiny player. It could always be worse. And to round off the trading post, a bunch of stuff has been data mined. Some standouts here. So, Uther's Helm, it seems like you'll get that at some point in the future. Then, right, the Plundered Blade of Northern Kings, which, I mean, wow, yeah, that looks really nice. It's a recolor, I believe, of something that was on Island Expeditions. You've got, the Argus light-themed gear from 7.3. There's a Void recolor of that. Looks really cool, as well as a recolor of Legion Season 1 crafted gear and a bunch of more simple weapons. You've got this, full lance, some axes, and dynamite. So, yeah, it's all kind of neat. Okay, some other stories then. Did Queen Kalia not exactly sit right with you? Well, it didn't for many. And there's good news here. it's been hotfixed out. The developer explained that this was a typo that just slipped in. Actually, what happened is Queen Kalia was caught before the patch shipped. The thing was, though, this happened after localization lock. Basically, a lot of these things are done via quite a big process when your game has got to be localized into all of those different languages, and ultimately that led in the delay. I know that might seem silly to most of us, but yeah, stuff like localization can be a whole process. Still, I'm happy. No Queen Kalia. I think a lot of people's worries there of her having an outsized impact on the Forsaken, well, those are hopefully not coming to pass. Okay, let's round off the week with some of the other stories. We've got 2 new catch-up items, one from Lindormi, the Mythic Plus NPC, and another one from the Conquest Quartermaster. If you've got over 1000 M+ score, you can buy BOA gear tokens for 350 flight stones that will turn into a piece of eye level 441 veteran gear, which can go all the way up to 463. And as for PvP, it's similar, but it costs 375 Conquest points. So, there's that. Then Blizz have nerfed Morazon's Rise, which should bring its in-time ratio for keys being done closer to the high average that this season has enjoyed. It obviously was the lowest chance of success dungeon that there was this season. Also, Feralath has been buffed again. Yeah, they're struggling to get that one right. Essentially, the Rage of Feralath cast is now affected by haste, so you'll lose fewer GCDs to it, and it's got a 15% damage buff. Then, a new achievement has been added that grants you the amazing title of Champion of the Dragonflights. Family. After completing the epilogue, speaking of the dragons, well, Mythic Farak has been nerfed, and a black hat has been added to the tomes you get from the Azerothian archives. Yeah, look, this was not the biggest week of news, but I do think some of those fundamental things with the Season of Discovery team and Blizzard actually, number one, having some new anti-botting tech, that's really cool, and that they're willing to make a ballsy change like that on GDKP runs, I think that's actually pretty exciting. Now, 10.2.6 PTR will be any day now. Until then, here's a video for you to watch next, and seriously, if the War Within is of any interest to you, you gotta check out that lore video. It will make so much make sense. I'll see you over there. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.